Hello, I am Courtney Renken, Deputy District Director for Congresswoman Kay Granger. I'm going to go over some basics about the United States Service Academies and how to obtain a congressional nomination from Congresswoman Granger. Just as a reminder before we begin, our office does not represent any of the service academies. If you have academy-specific questions, you should reach out to the Service Academy directly or to the local Service Academy liaison. Links to the Academy's websites are provided on this webpage. So what is a service academy? If you've made it this far, you're likely pretty familiar with what a service academy is and what is expected, but just for a quick recap, there are 5 service academies: the Coast Guard Academy, Military Academy, Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, and Merchant Marine Academy. You need to have a congressional nomination to be considered for appointment to all of the academies except for the United States Coast Guard Academy. Upon graduation from any of the academies, you will commission into the United States military and be required to complete 5 years of service. If you choose to attend flight school after graduation, your 5 years of service will begin after flight school. If you complete all 4 years of school and your 5 years of postgraduate service, you will have received an estimated $400,000 education without any student loan debt. Upon graduation, you will commission into the respective services as an officer. If you graduate from the Naval Academy, you have the option of commissioning into the United States Navy or the United States Marine Corps Air or Marine Ground. If you graduate from the Air Force Academy, you will have the option to commission into the United States Air Force or the new United States Space Force. The Merchant Marine Academy is the only academy that is under the umbrella of the Department of Transportation. Upon graduation, you will still be required to fulfill a term of service. However, the terms are a little different. You must maintain a license as an officer in the Merchant Marine for at least 6 years after graduation. You must apply for an appointment to serve as a commissioned officer in any Reserve or National Guard unit of the Armed Forces for at least 8 years following graduation. And finally, you will be required to fulfill a 5-year service agreement within one of the following: as a Merchant Marine officer, as a commissioned officer on active duty in any armed force of the United States or in the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, or as an employee in a U.S. maritime-related industry, profession, or marine science, as approved by the Secretary of Transportation. So there are 5 academies. To be appointed to the Military Academy, Naval, Air Force, or Merchant Marine Academy, you must obtain a congressional nomination. The Coast Guard Academy, which is under the Department of Homeland Security, not Department of Defense or Transportation, appoints directly without requiring a congressional nomination. The United States Coast Guard Academy is in New London, Connecticut. Our office does not have a lot of information on the Coast Guard Academy because you do not need a congressional nomination to be accepted. It is under the heading of the Department of Homeland Security, and thus appointments to the Coast Guard Academy are established by the Secretary of Homeland Security. 65% of Coast Guard Academy graduates have a STEM major. Approximately 1,069 cadets are currently enrolled. All 50 states, DC, and 13 separate nations are represented at the Academy. Student to faculty ratio is 7-1. Class of 2024 swore in approximately 270 cadets. The Merchant Marine Academy falls under the umbrella of the Department of Transportation. As mentioned before, upon graduation, you can commission into any of the branches of service, NOAA, or the Merchant Marines. The Merchant Marine Academy is located in Kings Point, New York. The Merchant Marine Act was passed by Congress in 1936. In 1938, the Merchant Marine Cadet Corps was established, and the Academy was dedicated by FDR in 1943. Student to faculty ratio is 12-1. There's approximately 1,000 cadets enrolled at the Merchant Marine Academy. The Military Academy, which is also referred to as West Point after its location, is the oldest of the service academies. It was established in 1802 by Thomas Jefferson, and its location was considered during the American Revolution by George Washington to be the most important strategic position in America, which is why he moved his headquarters there in 1779. Graduation rate of the Military Academy is approximately 80%. The school was ranked number 2 in top public schools by U.S. News and was ranked number 4 in engineering program in undergraduate engineering programs by U.S. News. Student to faculty ratio is 8-1 with about a 9% acceptance rate. Class of 2024 admitted and swore in approximately 1,200 cadets with a total enrollment of about 4,400. The second oldest academy is the United States Naval Academy. Again, upon graduation from the Naval Academy, you have the option of commissioning as a naval officer or to go Marine Air or Marine Ground. The Naval Academy is located in Annapolis, Maryland. It was first proposed to Congress in 1825 by President Adams and was established in 1845 by the Secretary of the Navy without any congressional funding. Student to faculty ratio, like the military academy, is 8-1 with approximately a 90% graduation rate. It was ranked the number 1 top public school by U.S. News. Class of 2024 swore in about 1,200 cadets with a total enrollment of about 4,500. The Air Force Academy was established in 1954. The Air Force Academy is the youngest of the service academies. It's located near Colorado Springs. Student to faculty ratio is 8-1 with approximately 80% graduation rate, and it is ranked number 3 in top public schools by U.S. News. So military, Air Force, and Naval academies are 1, 2, and 3 top public schools in America ranked by U.S. News. Air Force Academy swore in approximately 1,100 cadets in the class of 2024 with a total enrollment of approximately 4,000. 2020 was the first year graduating airmen were provided the option to commission into the United States Air Force or become the first graduates to commission into the United States Space Force. 86 airmen from the class of 2020 commissioned into the United States Space Force. So what are the basic qualifications to apply for a nomination and appointment to a service academy? Generally, you must be a United States citizen. To qualify for a congressional nomination from Congresswoman Granger, you must reside in Texas Congressional District 12 unless you are applying to the Merchant Marine Academy or you are active duty military whose home of record is in District 12, but you are stationed elsewhere, or applicants who are currently attending one of the Service Academy preparatory schools, but you are originally from Texas Congressional District 12. You must be 17 and not have reached your 23rd birthday by July 1 of the year you enter the academy. You cannot have any dependents, meaning you cannot be married, pregnant, have children, or be legally responsible for child support. You should have an excellent academic record and be prepared to provide scores for SAT exams or your ACTs with writing portion. You need to maintain an excellent physical standard and have completed your candidate fitness assessment, including your basketball throw, pull-ups or flexed arm hang, shuttle run, crunches, push-ups, and timed mile. You will be required to take a DoD Medical Examination Review Board exam. More information about the exam is provided below in the DoD-MERV video by Larry Mullins. There are 2 steps to getting into the United States Air Force, Naval, Merchant Marine, or military academies. The first is obtaining a congressional nomination, and then you can be considered for an appointment. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, to be considered for appointment to the Merchant Marine, Military, Naval, or Air Force Academy, you must receive a congressional nomination from your representative. This is to ensure representation from across the nation. Once you receive a congressional nomination, you are then eligible for appointment. But remember, a nomination does not guarantee appointment. Vacancies, charges, and nominations. So nominating sources include your senators and representative, the vice president, the presidential nomination, and other military affiliated nominations. The primary nomination sources are the vice president, both of your senators, and your representative. You should apply for a nomination through all 4 of the primary sources. All candidates who are qualified and nominated, though not selected for appointment, are eligible to be appointed to the academies through the secretaries of the Army, Navy, and Air Force, as well as the respective academy superintendents. But the students must have obtained a congressional nomination to be considered for one of these appointments. Military affiliated nominations include the presidential nomination of children of career military and an unlimited number of children of Medal of Honor recipients. Merit-based nominations are for children of armed forces personnel killed in action, missing in action, or during active duty service became 100% service-connected disabled. The service secretaries can also nominate enlisted members of regular and reserve components. So again, you should apply for all 4 of the primary nominating sources, including the vice president, both of your senators, and your representative. You should be familiar with how each of these nominating sources handle their applications. All of that information can be found on their respective websites. The vice president, both of your senators, and your representative may only have 5 cadets charged to them at any one time. This includes plebes or freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and firsties or seniors. We can nominate 10 names for each vacancy, and the academy chooses one of those 10 names to fill the vacancy. Every year, we do try to have 1 to 2 vacancies per school, and under each vacancy, we can nominate up to 10 names. So why apply to all nominating sources? Remember, the vice president can only have 5 cadets at any academy at any one time and can nominate up to 10 names per vacancy. But the vice president has no geographical restriction, meaning he can nominate 10 names for one vacancy from across the United States. Your senators have the same restrictions in the number of cadets, meaning they can have 5 cadets at any academy at any one time and can nominate up to 10 names per vacancy. Both Senators Cruz and Cornyn, however, are limited to nominating cadets from the state of Texas. Congresswoman Granger can also have 5 cadets at any school at any given time and can nominate 10 names per vacancy, but she is restricted to nominating students from within Congressional District 12, which is a much smaller geographic region than the entire state and, of course, than the United States. The exception is, of course, the Merchant Marine Academy, where Congresswoman Granger can nominate from anywhere within the state of Texas. So why is seeking all 4 nominations important? You want to increase the likelihood of being nominated, and you want to make it easy for the academies to admit you. This year, we have 2 vacancies to the United States Military Academy and 1 vacancy each to the Naval and Air Force Academies. Some quick math. We can nominate 20 names to the Military Academy and 10 each to Air Force and Naval Academies. You are competing for just 1 spot. If you only apply through one source, you are not eligible to be filled in to one of the senator's open vacancies or the vice president's. The more nominating sources you apply for, the more likely you are to be appointed to the academy you want. Remember, the Coast Guard Academy does not need a congressional nomination, and we are not limited in the number of nominations for the Merchant Marine Academy, but the state of Texas is limited to only 13 seats at the Merchant Marine Academy. Nomination methods include competitive, principal with competitive, and principal with alternates. So all 10 nominations are weighted equally under the competitive nomination method. The principal with competitive means we nominate a principal who stands above the rest, and the remaining 9 names are weighted equally. Principal with alternates allows us to nominate a principal and rank our next alternates as far down as we would like. For example, we can choose to nominate a principal and then nominate a second and third alternate, and the remaining 7 names would then be weighted equally. Generally, Congresswoman Granger uses the competitive nomination method, meaning all 10 names are weighted equally. However, if a candidate does stand out to the Congresswoman or to the board, we will use a principal with competitive or principal with alternate nomination method. It is important that you review our application and our frequently asked question page thoroughly. If you have questions, you should contact me. My information will be provided at the end of this. This is something that you need to want, and it will be you who goes to the academy, not your parents, not your best friend, and not your mom's friend who knows how great you are. You should be the one making contact, and you need to become comfortable with doing so. Your completed application, including your fitness assessment scores, should be in our office by 5 o'clock on October 16th. Part of attending a service academy is learning time management and prioritizing tasks. This is an easy step in showing us you are up to that task. We do not have a standard resume format we prefer, but make sure your accomplishments are not buried in 3 pages of information. A passport style photo means a small photo and should primarily be a headshot without a busy background. 3 letters of recommendation can be from anyone you would like. Generally, we ask that at least 2 letters be from someone within District 12, but we have made exceptions in the past, typically for active duty service members stationed elsewhere. School transcripts with class rank should be official copies. Due to COVID, we understand that many SAT and ACT exams were canceled or rescheduled. Therefore, we will accept SAT or ACT exam scores after the October 16 deadline. But remember, they cannot be considered if they are received after the interview day. Typically, we host interviews in November on a Saturday before Thanksgiving. Your essay should be 500 words or less. This is your opportunity to make your case about why you want to go to a service academy and why you should be nominated ahead of everyone else applying. Do not take it lightly. I have mentioned it twice now, but for good measure, your completed application for a nomination from Congresswoman Granger needs to be in our office by 1700 or 5 p.m. Friday, October 16, 2020. Our interviews are conducted using an 8-member board consisting of academy graduates, local businessmen and women, as well as active duty personnel. The Congresswoman also participates in the interview process, bringing the total to 9 members. Each year, the number of board members present varies based on schedules, so the board interview may consist of 2 or 3 members, or may include all 9 board members. You should prepare for any scenario. The purpose of the interview is for the board to get to know you, what is not on paper. They want to know that you are following current events, they want to know that you have a backup plan, and they're going to want to know if that plan includes public service. More about the board interviews is in the Academy Board video by Jim Breen below, but the overarching theme is, can you show us that you are ready to attend a service academy and commission into the armed forces upon graduation? When I say this is an opportunity to show the board what cannot be seen on paper, I'm always reminded of the applicant who scored a 29 on his ACTs. A 36 is a perfect score and a 21 is average. A 29 is a good score, but is about average for service academy applicants. During the interview process, however, it came out that this applicant took the ACT 16 times to receive that 29. On paper, he looked like every other candidate who did well on his ACTs, but in the interview, we were able to see that his determination and his humility were well above average. That is why the board interview is so important. This applicant graduated from the United States Air Force Academy, commissioned into the United States Air Force, and has been proudly representing District 12 ever since. So what are we looking for? Again, it's discussed further in the board video, but what we are looking for is a well-rounded applicant. We need to see a leader and someone who perseveres. We want to see someone who is cognizant of world events and who is academically and physically prepared for the service academies. Remember, a nomination does not equate to an appointment, but you cannot get an appointment to a service academy, except the Coast Guard Academy, without a congressional nomination. Academies review our nominations and select their appointees. Once offered an appointment, you have the decision to accept or reject that appointment. If you do accept the appointment, we are notified, and Congresswoman Granger tries to recognize appointees every year before you ship off to your summer basic training course. Thank you for watching. My contact information is provided here. You can also call the Congresswoman's district office and ask for me if you have any additional questions. Links to each academy are available on this webpage.